It's no secret that the first trailer and pre-order information for FC25 is probably coming out in the next week or so it seems like a really good time to look at 10 features that would make career mode much better. Deep down, I think we'd probably be happy if even one of these were added to career mode, but let's have a look at some of the FIFA community's most wanted features. Of course, FC25 isn't actually out yet, there's no trailer, there's no footage, there's no screenshots, so while I talk, you'll just be watching some FC24 gameplay in the background. Anyway, let's begin with the first feature that I really think should be added, and that is going to be player histories. Have you ever wanted to know why John Stones has ended up in Denmark for FC Copenhagen? Have you missed how much Kylian Mbappe moved from Real Madrid to Chelsea for? This is the kind of situation that a player history tab would be perfect for. The tab should definitely include things like a player's club, their appearances per season, as well as how many goals and assists they've got, but the player's overall rating could also be tracked and allow you to have a cool graph seeing how much your players actually improved. The worst part is that all of the information I've talked about just there is actually already tracked inside career mode. Things like the amount of appearances a player has made over their career, how many Champions League finals every player and every club has been to, and how much every team likes or dislikes someone. This is entirely tracked, but never actually used or displayed inside career mode. Having player histories or biographies in-game would require basically no new effort from EA, while also adding a lot of depth and also a lot of background information. While player histories would be really cool, I think also having licensed teams from leagues that aren't fully included in FIFA would be another big step towards realism. That might sound confusing to you, but let's say that EA adds 2 licensed teams from the National League just like they did with Wrexham before Wrexham got promoted to League 2. This would then allow relegation from League 2. 2 teams would leave the league and 2 new ones could come up that would be fully licensed and already in the game. This means EA wouldn't have to license the entire National League, so they could save some serious money while also giving every single league in the game relegation and of course letting millions of fans use their favourite teams that aren't already in the game. There are some really big teams that are missing from FC25. Vitesse in Holland, Eupen in Belgium and Wisla Krakow in Poland are all really well supported teams that won't be able to use in FIFA 25 career mode. Even if these were just unlicensed teams with real players, it would be an interesting change that allows some very cool teams to actually be promoted in leagues that don't already have relegation. Of course, you could probably toggle this feature on and off if you're not interested in having unlicensed teams added to your game. The third feature is another one that I've seen a lot of people talking about, and that's to create more than one club. How many times have you wanted to create a club from a league that's not in career mode, but then realised it'd be much more fun to have another team in the same league? Maybe you want to create a Celtic and Rangers type duo in Ireland, or a rival for your Create a Club team that's in the MLS based in Hawaii. It would be even better if you could share your Create a Club creations like you can in things like NBA 2K or Gran Turismo 7. Realistically though, Create a Club would be even better if you had the ability to upload and share graphics or teams using something like an online portal. Like you're seeing right here, Gran Turismo 5 already has this feature, but I think I'd settle just for being able to create multiple teams in my career mode in FC25. The next idea is another one that seems to be talked about a lot, and that is extending career mode beyond 15 years. It's quite self-explanatory actually. The 15-year limit was only added because that's what consoles could handle back on FIFA 04, but really, career mode should be at least 30 years. Football Manager Mobile and the console version both have 30-year career modes, and I'd say it's about the perfect length for a career mode save before it gets a bit old and you have to get a bit obsessive to actually get past that point. While I do doubt that many people actually reach the 15-year save on their career mode saves, once they do reach that point, it is actually very disappointing that everything just ends. By the time you reach season 8 or 9, you don't really even have to bother signing youth players because you know that you're going to be forced to retire in 6 years and you'll never get to see these players hit their potential. Let's be honest, Pep Guardiola is in season 17 of his real life career mode. Mourinho is in season 23 and Roy Hodgson has just finished his 48th season. 15 is just not enough seasons. Okay, this next one is also another idea that's talked about quite a lot, adding player personalities into career mode. Imagine if your next Wonder Kid had the temperament of Balotelli. If there was a risk that the next Bellingham that's in your academy could actually turn out like Hakim Mastur. This is what player personalities would add to career mode. Even if it was just a simple rating out of 99 for how professional they are or how hardworking they are in training, it could add so much depth to the youth academy and therefore the entire game mode. On the other hand, you might get someone who's low rated with low potential, but they have Cristiano Ronaldo's professional mindset. They might improve faster, they'll keep their heads up while you're losing matches, and eventually become that guy that's the talisman of your team. You could make a team of model professionals with a single maverick winger that sort of does whatever he wants, or you could create the most hardworking team of angry brutes. There's another part of football that career mode basically ignores. Because the academy is also the only part of career mode that isn't in other game modes, I'd say it really should be the focus of the next few games. The next few ideas are all to do with the academy, and the first one is about youth teams playing matches in career mode. I'd say that if youth teams played games, even if it was fully simulated and you didn't get to watch it, it should be a big part of the game mode. Most of the time, the first time you'll ever actually use a young player is either in training on older games or in a fully competitive game on FC25. But real life managers actually get to see young players playing all the time. If you could play your under 21 team in a friendly against other teams in your league, it would be a really good chance to learn about how a player feels and see if they're worth developing, training up or changing position. Of course, for this feature to work, you'd also have to add this next one, which would be AI teams having youth players. On the topic of youth players, did you know that AI never actually uses their academy? If you don't choose to use your academy, the only time the database will ever get new players is when someone retires. These players have the same birthday, potential and positions, which does keep the database a little bit more balanced, but doesn't allow small nations to have golden generation. Let's say we go back a few features and the 15 season cap was ended. By season 25, you'll have Haaland's regen now also retiring, making another regen, which produces yet another Norwegian 90 potential striker. This kind of conveyor belt of talent just doesn't happen in real life. Sweden never got a Zlatan Ibrahimovic replacement, Isaac is as close as they got. Bosnia doesn't have a new Edin Dzeko, and Wales doesn't have a new Gareth Bale. If the AI teams actually use the academy, they could rise and fall based on good academy setups. New players from new countries could appear, and career mode wouldn't quite be as static. This would also really help in our next feature, which is to have better national team management. While having more young players would make the national team better and more interesting longer into your save, this is irrelevant while national teams are still as useless as they are now. We actually only have 30 national teams in FC25, even though there's over 75 nations in the database that would have enough players to field a full 23-man squad. Nations like Nigeria, Japan, Brazil and Serbia all have over 100 players in the game, but no national team. I'm not sure why EA refuses to add national teams that aren't licensed, but I think having a fully fleshed out Euros, Copa America or African Cup of Nations would make career mode a lot better. We've had unlicensed teams like Uruguay in the game before, and there's no reason this couldn't be one of the easiest things that EA add for FC25. So for our ninth and second to last feature that we want in career mode, I think we need to go back to the theme of customization. And I think stadium customization is one of the things that's most likely to be added in career mode very soon. Other than Creator Club, I'd say Stadium Creator has probably been the most requested feature for at least a decade, and it can be something that's used in both career mode, Ultimate Team, and also in pro clubs. If mobile games like the one you're seeing right here can have a pretty good stadium creator, there's no reason that EA couldn't create something good over the course of a few months. You just need a couple of options for each stand, you need a couple of colours for each stand, and then a couple of variations for each stand, and boom, you can then create a lower league stadium, or make your own Wembley. It's a small feature that really would make a massive difference. However, I do remember that PES did have some issues with their stadium creator when they had one about a decade ago. They had some templates that looked a little bit too similar to real stadiums, and therefore allowed you to basically create the real stadiums inside career mode. EA are probably smart enough to avoid this, but again, it could be a potential reason why this won't be added anytime soon. So that's 9 ideas that I think would add career mode. Before I tell you my 10th, why not comment below this video with any ideas that you have, because who knows, it could be someone from EA who actually watches this video after you do and they go straight to the comments. Anyway, let's quickly talk about transfer clauses. It might sound boring as hell, but I think it would actually add a huge amount of depth almost instantly. A few clauses already exist. Sell on percentage, release clauses and bonuses for goals and assists are already in career mode. But I'd love to add some extra clauses from Football Manager into career mode. Adding sell-on clauses to FIFA was a start, but there's so many clauses that could still be added. Things like a transfer fee that increases if you're not relegated, a Ballon d'Or clause like Martial had at Manchester United, or having to pay a fee to a club per goal scored up to a limit of goals. On Football Manager, it makes the market more dynamic because it means smaller teams who normally can't afford a player can then make a realistic gamble with finances and their stability and sign players that are way beyond their means, which of course does happen quite often in real life. Hopefully you agree with at least one or two of these features that we should really get in career mode over the next couple of years. Of course, with the trailer coming out hopefully very soon, we'll be finding out exactly what's been added, but I wouldn't expect any of these to be included. Let me know in the comments, like I said, what you want included, and I'll see you soon. Subscribe if you want to see FC25 gameplay when it's released. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.